It's like right now, I'm already live on YouTube. I hit 2 buttons because I think on YouTube I have, like, I don't know, it's like 150 subscribers, 154.
Is yours still Leaf
Yep,
for me?
and it's just that
Mhm.
easy. I just gotta, um, just mute it. Actually, I don't even have to mute it. All I gotta do is hit bam, then you shouldn't be able. Yeah, so
Why
now
is
there's
it
no
doesn't pop
feedback,
up?
but it's just that easy. But yeah, I
What
just
in the world?
'cause I like playing around on TikTok. That makes me mad. That easy.
Yeah. Why is it not? It's not popping up your account on YouTube whenever I look, look at it. Am I just stupid?
Hmm.
What I'm gonna have to do? Probably have to go on TikTok. Is there a link to it on TikTok? Jesus. Yeah, that's what I'll have to do. I want it.
Doo doo. See, cause that don't look half bad. And I can't get in trouble here because you don't get in trouble here for cigars and talking the poop. So, so which one is it? That one? Yeah, it's that one. Yeah, it's like earlier. I was on here, on TikTok showing off all my cigars, and normally by then, I've already done something wrong.
Oh yeah. Every
But
time, without fail, as soon as you grab a cigar, that freaking warning pops up at the bottom.
yeah, and that's what I don't understand because if because if that's gonna be the case, why aren't the ladies getting, you know why don't they have to put on a I mean, it's not straight up nudity, but it might as well be. And I'm just like, "What the f that doesn't make any sense." Because I got these the other day. The Everyday is Cigar Day. They're little Connecticut's. I say they're little, but the ring gauge is an inch around. The website's called Everyday is Cigar Day, and they come from Arizona, but they're made in Nicaragua. Um, but if you use Panda at checkout, it's like 30% off. You can get 16 cigars for like $50. Yep. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're Connecticut wrappers are typically not all the time, but typically, just a mild cigar. They're not no full strength, knock you on your teeth type cigar. Oh, the Nicaragua. It's a full-bodied cigar. Oh, yeah. It's it's possible, because that's what I was thinking too. 'Cause he said you gave you one and, um, typically they always say, like, the beginner cigar they say is a what the hell is it? It's a Perdomo 20th anniversary champagne, and they sell those at, um, El Guapo's, and they're not bad at all. Actually, I smoked one for the first time just to smoke one on New Year's, and it wasn't a bad s I mean, it wasn't terrible. I don't think it's necessarily for, the newer smoker, though. That's crazy. See, 'cause in July 11th through the 14th, I'll actually be in Tampa, Florida with all the guys, and 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 we're gonna go watch, like, cigars being rolled at the JC Newman factory and do a factory tour and just do all kinds of fun stuff like that. The hell, the round trip is only $239. Hell no. 'Cause at first I was thinking, "Damn, dude, that's gonna be like a grand." Shit. But I figure since so many people fly to Florida, that's why the tickets aren't very high. Because Florida is typically where everybody goes each summer, and, there's just no need in having 6 or $700 tickets because 'cause they're gonna make them. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's where everybody goes to retire anyway, and like I said, it's gonna be hot, which our hot here and their hot there is 2 definitely completely different types of hot. The humidity here, I don't know what it's like there, but I've flown a lot, and I hate it. My ears do not pop when I fly. So the whole time, I just have this incredible amount of pressure in my head, and it drives me and I've tried everybody says, "Try yawning, uh, chewing bubble gum." I've tried it all, and it just don't work. Yeah, there ain't no freaking way. Just thinking about that makes me want to throw up. That's a bunch of bullshit. That's when they need to. Like people are freaking out right now. What are you doing? Yeah. Oh, jeez. Mm-mm. Yeah, I think was we drove to Mexico. Well, we drove to um, Brownsville, Texas, which is just right across the. I mean, you walk 10 feet from where we were. You're in Mexico. It's this is my wife's dad lives in Mexico, and that drive took us so much longer than it needed to because I can't set that long. I was going nuts. I wanted to stop everywhere because it's the first time I've been. Not the first time in Texas, but the first time I've ever been past Dallas, and everything was still new and it looked cool. And as soon as it got dark, I wanted to stop and go find somewhere to sleep. And I was just like a little kid, and it was the first time I ever had Whataburger. So every time we passed one, I had to stop and get one. Oh, thank God. Oh, geez. Well, I thought I just lost 23 pounds. I think I just gained it back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a freak for Whataburger. Like even when we go to Tulsa, out of all the good places to go eat in Tulsa, I want to go to Whataburger. Right. Oh, absolutely. We eat there quite often at work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the one they have now. The what's it? The double with the jalapenos. They of course Brahms and Subway, their jalapenos are abnormally hot. Um, so they knock me on my ass every time I eat it, but I still go get it. What I do? I haven't had Hardee's in a long time. I've only ate Hardee's probably 2 or 3 times. It's fucking crazy. Oh, where's it? Who put something else? Cigar Life. $1.04. Where did he put that while ago? It was actually kind of funny. And he's right. It's like bullshit. People put smoking videos on here all the time. They fucking with you, bro. Yeah, they are. I'm about to play all my cards. Damn it. I keep going back to see if it has another appeal button, but I think I'm just gonna. Nope. So at 9. Yeah, I have to wait till April 27th at 9:47 PM. Probably their time, wherever they're at. Yeah, it don't make any freaking sense. Like, I don't know, because like I said, there's sometimes I'll put, the cigar pictures or the videos on there, and it'll say it's not for your For You page because it's a violation of community guidelines. And then there's other times I can put like 30 on there and nothing's ever said. So you're like, you guys got to figure this shit out. You guys are bass backwards on here because there's no reason for this to 1 minute it's fine, the next minute it's not. But right, because I see a lot of people that do a lot of things against their guidelines, and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year off this app. But because they are such a big asset to the app, they just turn a blind eye to it. And I'm like, yeah, it don't make any sense because, you know, us small potato guys, we're the only ones they're messing with. Right? Because what we like, they say is bad. Well, letting however old, male or female, get on an app and see something they shouldn't see. I mean, I get it. Yes, they shouldn't have access to what that app has to offer, like adults smoking cigars or adult women or men doing what they do on the app, but it's okay for them to do that. Thinking if it's against your community guidelines, maybe you need to make like a TikTok plus or a TikTok for adults and whatever, because we need to have an app to where we can do what we enjoy. Because the Yep. No. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, because that's the day Don messaged me. He's like, "I PM'd you, JJ." I'm like, "All right." So I checked. He's like, "How do I shake the kid?" I said, "Tell him you just got to get offline." So he got offline for a few minutes, and then we all came back. Because he didn't want to like break the kid down, which I respect that too. But yeah, it's not an app. Even YouTube anymore is not an app for kids. There is a YouTube Kids for a reason, but um, and like I said, Twitter, Facebook, none of it. I mean, I've watched some brutal videos on Facebook, absolutely brutal videos, and you're like, but you post something political and they ban you. But you can watch, people get beat up, ran over, um, shot, and you're like, then that's okay. But you say something about, COVID during that time when it was a big thing before everybody figured out it was bullshit or whatever people think about it. Because I don't watch nothing that has to do with any of that. I don't like watching the news or anything. It's all a bunch of craziness. And somebody posts something on that and they're like, spreading hate speech or whatever they were doing, and they're banning people on Facebook, and you're like, why? Why are people going to Facebook jail for this? And I've seen 1,000 times worse things than them saying that, you know, this sickness isn't as bad as everybody says it is, which it wasn't. When I'm not saying it was a good thing because it's not, but it wasn't as bad as everybody portrayed it to be because the whole world went nuts. I mean, I know I got the shit 3 times. I lost my taste and smell the first time. The second time, it was taste and smell with severe headaches. And then the last time was just headaches. So I'm not saying it was, you know, quote unquote fake. It just wasn't enough to completely shut the country down and take all of our rights away. I mean, I think on that, that's the part I disagreed with the most because it just created a lot of civil unrest. And you couldn't even go to the grocery store and buy groceries for your kids because there was nothing there. I mean, you couldn't even buy shit paper, and you're like, why shit paper? I don't understand the 15-pound logs of hamburger meat, but shit paper? I don't know. It's just it was strange to me. It still is. And see, I'm not trying to discount because I mean it did knock a lot of people down for the count. But a lot of them people were already dealing with, breathing in chest, and they were 85 years old. The common cold knocks down 85-year-olds all the time because their immune system is non-existent. And you're just like, and that's how funerals were too during that time. You can only have so many people at a funeral. And you're like, what are you? Because I got married during COVID, and there was only one place because we wanted to go to one of those real pretty chapels and get married, like the barns you can go to and stuff like that. But we couldn't because nobody would open their doors to us. So we found one small church in Miami that would actually let us get married at. It was the only place we could. And then we did our reception at the Buffalo Run room over there where they do the concerts. They let us do that. Cost an arm and leg, but they let us do it. But like, how in the hell we can't just stop living? Because I mean, we're gonna get sick regardless. I mean, there wasn't a household in the world that wasn't affected by COVID in some way. Everybody got it. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Uh, See, and that's where I'd get in trouble because I'd cut my mouthpiece so short. Because your mouthpiece, it's not for your teeth. It's to help prevent concussions. It's so your jaw and that's how most people get knocked out anyway, is their teeth clinking, and it causes a shock and it does what it does. But even when I was in high school, they didn't take all this. Of course, hell, it's been 16 years since. God dang, Yeah, 16 years since I graduated. They didn't care then really about concussions. I mean, obviously you can only have so many per whatever, but even if you thought you had one, unless you were just like falling over or passed out, they didn't do anything about it. So there's many times we probably played full football games with concussions. But they would, you get blood on you, they freak out and they're spraying all that peroxide or whatever the fuck it is all over you. But see, the first high school, because I'm originally from Pitcher, and they shut that down. Um, we were red and white. Then I moved to Commerce, which was our arch rivals. Um, so our first day of hitting practice was like watching Remember the Titans. We were just beating the piss out of each other. Our school still had school, but they didn't have sports anymore. And we wanted to still play, obviously. So I already lived in Commerce at the time because we already moved out of the town because they knew it was closing down anyway. And so I lived in Commerce through my sophomore year of high school anyway. So my junior year, I went to Commerce and I liked my junior year because I only had to play one side of the football. First time I've ever had to do that because in pitcher, we were on, if you were the first 11 on offense, you were still that first 11 on defense and special teams because we only had like 18 kids to play football and go to Commerce and there was like 40. And we're like, this is weird. And since all of us came from, you know, hard played football because we never got breaks. And then we came over here to Commerce and we're taking their starters' positions, and that pissed a lot of them off. Because my junior year, I just played defensive end. And then it's such a fun position. And then I had to play center one game because our center went to, it's called like Boy State, I think is what it's called. What's up, Necro? And I got to play center that game. And then I started off playing center my senior year, but one of our guards got hurt and I was just itching to go to go. I wanted to pull so bad. I always wanted to play guard. And I was just like, shit. I've been a center since I was in the second grade. It's all I ever played on offense was center. Defense, I was never a tackle. I was a nose guard and a defensive end. Is all I ever played on defense. And I finally told him, I said, I want guard. And oh my God. Because playing defensive end and also being a guard, you know what both positions do. You're out to rip that person, that pulling guard's face off. And so you kind of got insight to what to and not to do. And that is never keep your eyes off that damn defensive end because he's about to earhole the absolute shit out of you. And vice versa. It's that guard's trying to do the same thing. And he's trying to kick everything out while you as a defensive end, you're trying to keep everything inside. And I had a lot of fun with it, but we went to the third round my junior year and the second round my senior year, and that's as far as we ever made it. That's that's bullshit. Yep. Yep. That's it. And if I just would have, went, I could have went to Bacone or Haskell, but I was like, I don't want to go back to school. So I waited a year and a half and joined the army instead. And did that for about 5 years and got medically discharged and here I am. Mhm. Hell yeah. Remember when I was young, my mom was a traveling nurse, and I'd go to a family's house that she would go to in um, Quapaw, and I'd mow that guy's yard every week. And mind you, this was the early 2000s, and he'd pay me $40 a week. I mean, I was just a little ass kid. I'm like, I'd cut this shit for with scissors for $40 a week, and of course, I spent it all on pizza pockets and Surge, and wonder why I am the way I am. Oh yeah, oh absolutely. Because I found myself having to go to the doctor, and I was at 325 pounds. So I got put on that Ozempic. Because my A1C, I was like as high as pre-diabetic as you could be without being type 2 diabetic. And I think I've been taking Ozempic now for probably about 3 months, 2 months. And I've lost 23 pounds on it, but uh, it makes me feel like shit. So I don't know is the benefits of losing the weight because I've had high blood pressure for years, and I don't like taking that medicine because all you do is piss when you take it. Um, so I'm sitting here, I'm weighing my options. Is it worth it? Or should I keep taking this shit? Because I mean, we have a membership to the gym and everything, but with everything else that I've had go, because my back likes to go out real bad. Like I just had to go. It's been a month and get an X-ray guided epidural shot in my back. That was horrible. Even though they put you out for it, that was terrible. But it seems to be working so far. Because we've been doing a lot of pretty hard manual labor at work, and though it's still pretty rough on me and I get pretty sore, it hasn't went out. Because when it goes out, I can't even walk. Like I'm all leaned over to the left side. It's weird looking. But hopefully that shot works because I don't want surgery. I don't want anybody digging around in my back or nothing like that. Right. Well, that's what they told me. Is my right shoulder can separate. I mean, yeah, I've separated it so much. It started doing it so much in football that after football during the off season, I'd separate my shoulder deadlifting. It just pop out. So my mom took me to the doctor and they said it's a 50-50 shot. 50% chance it can be better or 50% chance it could turn out worse. Like, well, why would I want that? So no, no, and I just because I figured it out. It was about by age 23, I already had enough wrong with me to have to be medically discharged. But about 28 years old is when I just completely fell apart. I mean, through the years of being in the service, lifting this, and that, I mean, I grew up in Pitcher. I mean, what we did for fun was the chat piles, dirt bikes and four wheelers, and hell, we've jumped them in our trucks. I mean, it was bound to happen eventually, but now it feels like I'm held together by glue. I've had 5 spinal surgeries. They fixed everything. See, exactly. But and here's the honest truth. What I think about modern day medicine is the same people that give you the sickness sell the cure, and they don't want you to be better. There's no money in you getting better. Well, yeah, and there's only a cure for those who can afford it. Because there's always been a pecking order in life. It's like the Rockefeller said, the one who made up our modern day education, is he doesn't need a nation of thinkers. He needs a nation of workers. And that's why we sat through 8 hours a day of bullshit in school, learning shit that makes no sense and doesn't help you in life. Um, it's you need to teach a kid how to do his taxes, how to change a tire and how to change oil, how to read a tape measure. Simple things like that so they can come out of school with a little bit of world experience other than learning about the War of 1812, which I love history. That's actually what I wanted to do, is be a history teacher, just because I wanted to do that, because in these small towns, you have to be a teacher in order to be a coach. No, because I don't even know why you even have to have teaching. If you're a badass coach, that's all it should be. Get hired on as a coach. Maybe like a strength and conditioning coach other than that or something, but you shouldn't have to be. All of my football coaches growing up were either science teachers or history teachers. Right. And you're like, this is ridiculous. Why do you even need to have a degree to be a damn PE teacher? Right. To me, that don't make a lick of sense. Because, and again, we're the only one of the only nations where you have to pay to have higher education. I, I mean, they don't give you a level start. You don't start off on a level playing field. It's like you're 18, 19 years old and you want to go get a car, you have to have a cosigner. Well, most people are not going to cosign for you because you have little to no work experience, so the bank ain't going to give you no money. It, right. And no credit is worse than bad credit. So it's like, how do you expect, because at 18 years old, you're considered an adult. How you expected to start off on a level playing field if nobody helps you. Now they want you to go to um the credit sharks over here, like um God, what was that place called? Quad States. They'd give you like a $2,000 loan, but it'd be 48% interest. Like, no. And it's like Tyler, the buddy that worked with us before he went to go um be a phlebotomist. Um he kept trying to go get a car, but they kept saying he don't have enough work history because he moved from North Carolina. Like, but he at least has a job. The downfall is if he can't pay his payment, they come get your car. I mean, it should be that simple. You don't pay for it even at 18, 19 years old, they come take it, and that's a huge strike against your credit already. I mean, that's the caveat of, well, if I'm gonna give you this loan, you have to pay it. Well, if you don't pay it, you get your car back anyway. So, and then their credit screwed for however many years it may be until they can get out of that hole. But I got lucky with that because my parents, they bought all of our first vehicles. And my first vehicle happened to be a 1976 El Camino. It was beautiful, way too fast for me at that age. And it got me in some trouble. But I worked at a place called Burgraff Tire in Baxter when I first turned 18. And I was basically just going to work so I could put gas in that car to go to work. I think got 6 miles to the gallon. And I'm a kid. My foot's not gonna stay out of that gas pedal. So I'm like, I'm driving to work. I'm basically watching my gas needle move as I'm going. And I'm just like, this is stupid. Oh, hell yeah. Can't beat that. Oh, yeah. Yep. The first new vehicle I ever bought actually a 2014, but it was a GMC Sierra, the GFX Power Edition. It's a beautiful truck. Went over here to Vance and like, I want a smaller car payment. I left. My truck payment went up $250 a month. I I paid $836 a month on my truck. I bought it with 11 miles. They had to open the doors to get it out of the showroom floor. And I've had it now for 7 years. Yeah, and I have 33,000 miles on that truck. I just drive it to work. That's it. That's all I've ever done is just drive it back and forth to work. Every now and then we'll take it to Joplin. And the bulk of them miles went is that's what we drove to Southern Texas. But other than that, I put like I very rarely fill my truck up because I cannot stand spending like $70 at the gas pump. It pisses me off. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I just say I ain't driving this thing more than 3 miles a day. I'm gonna put $20 in it because it actually lasts me a long time. Because my truck gets on highway like 19 miles to the gallon, and it's a Ford F-150, the Oklahoma edition. And I actually thought about selling it here a while back, but it's yeah, they call it the Fire Bronze. Yep, because I really thought hard about it. I'm like, it is nice not having a truck payment. But no, yeah, it's not bad. Yep, I did it, and I look back now, and if I could go back in time, I'd kick myself in the nuts because well, they say at like 25 it goes down, but I never noticed mine going down. And I have nothing on my driving record other than maybe 2 seatbelt tickets that are like more than a decade apart. Never been pulled over for speeding or driving recklessly, nothing, no crazy infractions. But I still pay quite a bit for insurance, and I'm 35 years old with a clean driving history. Think I got my first seatbelt ticket when I was like 17, and then another one, God, yeah, so not quite a decade in between it. I was in my early 20s, but still, if that's all that's on it, because a lot of people at that age have all kinds of crazy shit on their driving record. And I was just like, they said, well, it'll go down at 25 or whatever. Well, I never noticed it. I mean, I pay for full coverage still on a truck that's paid off, only because the truck is still basically like new. I mean, I could still get like 25,000 trade in on that truck. And if I could, I'd like to just go to a dealership and just trade it straight across for a two-door Tacoma with 60,000 miles. Just because I don't need a quad cab truck. Because that's why we bought my wife's car. It's because that's where all the booster seats and car seats go anyways in my wife's car. The only thing in the back seat of my truck is coats and boots. I mean, it never right. Nope. And at the time, my kids were still small and I had more than one car seat in the truck. So it did make sense. But now I'm just like, no, I don't need all this room. But like I said, it's good on gas because it's the aluminum bodied Ford. It's got a 5.0 in it. You put that bad boy in sport mode, she'll scream. For a four-door truck, she screams. And I had to get a new bed put on that because a kid fell asleep when I used to live in Commerce on the highway. He fell asleep in his Jeep, went off the road, went through my yard, and hit my truck while it was parked in front of my house.
You notice something?
What?
Like
On your face? Well,
just
come.
anywhere.
Well, come to the light.
Because I just noticed it and I've been all over the place today like this.
2 different earrings. Have you lost your ever living mind?
I guess I thought I grabbed both of them off my hanging thing, and I just grabbed one from one side and one from the other.
What's that word you normally say?
Huh? What's what?
What's the word you normally would say in that?
Don't worry about it. Come on, Elaine.
That's funny. Wife has two completely different looking earrings on, and she's had them on all day and went multiple places. She's a crackhead, I think. But yeah, oh, and I got a new bed put on my truck, which the insurance didn't like that. The paint that's on that truck, since it has bronze flake in it, was $800 a quart. So it was cheaper for my insurance to rhino line the bed of my truck than it was to paint it. I'm like, you are out of your mind. Yeah. I mean that was cool. But I was just like, dude, what the fuck? $800 a quart. Why? And the only time you can notice really the bronze flake in my truck is as the sun's going down. Other than that, you don't really notice it. It just looks like a and I'll clean out the inside of my truck, but the outside of my truck, I honestly haven't taken it to a car wash in years. Been years. Because that my reason for that at the time was I worked at the boat factory here, Tracker, and our parking lot was just a white gravel parking lot. And next to that, it's just wide open fields. So my truck was covered in dust anyway. Like, I'm not gonna go spend like $30 cleaning this thing just for literally to look like that again the next day. And which is no excuse, but now I have no excuse, and it only gets washed when it rains. Oh yeah. My dad has a Jeep Sahara, and it's all widened out and got the big old meats on it. And if there's any bit of water on the road as you turn with your windows down, you're gonna get wet. But boy, it looks cool. And it's mean. Oh yeah. I guarantee that. And, but mine, I ended up putting some meteor tires on it, but I haven't put no rims or nothing on my truck yet. I want to do that and put a couple of those. I think they're called ranch hand, the bumpers. Mm-hmm. Yep. Because I figured, well, with the amount of deer everybody hits around here, it'd actually be beneficial. But I can't justify the cost. It's like it's Jesus. So let's see right here. Let's look at some bumpers. Real quick. No, you turd. I said bumpers. Front of bumpers. 2016. Ford F-150. Super Crew. Why does it matter what the fucking engine is? I'm not a fucking O'Reilly. Go look for fucking headlights. Ask if it has 4-wheel drive in it. Like, you fucking crackhead, and they don't matter. See, because the Stillcraft one's not bad. No, that kind of looks like the front end of a train. See, this one's 17, but it also is that specific one's built for more like a SEMA type truck. It was just like powder coat white, and it just that would not look good on my truck. It'd look good on probably any other one, but this Ranch Hand Summit one I like. It's $1,248, or I can buy it with a firm for $105 a month. No. Too many. And it's should be fucking illegal. I can get a Fab Fours, blah 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 red. I can get a rear bumper for $8.99, but still. Yeah, so it'll cost me what, $3,000 altogether for front and back bumpers. Because I kind of fall for the Stinger style bumper, but I don't need a Stinger style bumper. I do like that bull nose though. That's kind of cool. I just kind of like the bumpers you see, like what your cattle guys get with the mesh in front of the grill and all that. I like the way that looks. But that one's way too square. That one looks weird. Oh, but the one that looks great's $500 more. Ain't that convenient? Huh. Because I don't need a winch. There's just no reason for me to have a winch. Even though they are. Dad has one on his Jeep and they do come in handy. See, I want one like that. That just kind of looks almost kind of stock, but it's not. $1,700. They want a kidney to go with it. Oh, I guarantee it. Which hell, I already have all the kids I'm gonna have. They can have them sons of bitches. Absolutely. The hell. I'm gonna look up the number right now. Like, you can come, I'll cut them off for you. Oh, yep, and I'll ship them overnight anywhere in the world for $40K. Done deal. Because, like I said, because I ain't having any more kids. See, I was 24 when my wife got pregnant. My ex-wife now. When we got her pregnant, I was 24. Because I didn't want one any younger than that. Not that there's a problem with it, because I figured 24, 25, I'd be ready. And then I soon realized you're never ready. You're never ready to have kids, because there's so many things that get thrown at you. You're just like, because they're always sick, and especially now I got one in daycare, one in kindergarten, one in third, or one in second, and one in fourth. And them kids they're just gross anyway. They're sneezing on everything, got boogers hanging out of their nose. So your kids always get sick. And you got the kids at school that, they got head lice, and then that shit comes home. No matter how clean you keep your kid, they're always gonna get something. And you're like, this is a nightmare. Like, it's disgusting. And yep. Right. What is at this point right now is my son, he'll graduate at 17. So I'll be 50. No, I'll be 42 when my first one graduates. That's not terrible. No way. So I'll be 52 when my last child graduates high school. 53. No. Well, yep. But I mean, they are fun. As scary as it is, it's a lot of fun. Because it's just, especially now, like once they start learning and they start talking, and it's just crazy now because kids today weren't like the kids when I was that age. Their vocabulary is far more advanced now than it was back then. But back then, the only computer I ever seen was when I went to school and we had a little computer class. We didn't get, my God, I didn't get our first computer. I was probably mm, 11, 12 years old at home, back when we still had the old dial up days. See, a lot of kids don't know about dial up. It take you 15 minutes just to get online. And then if you wanted to do anything, you had to sit there and wait. Now everything's just, now hell, my home internet's 25,000 times faster than what we had back then. And I can download a 50 gigabyte game in no time with this internet. So we got the Sparklight. Yeah. And one of the biggest packages they have as far as download and upload speed. And it's pretty great, but the price isn't. Price is dog shit. Shit. Yeah, that ain't bad. Especially if it's just for general use, streaming movies and watching shit like that. Yep, my son, I gave him my Series X because I actually have two. I have two computers. I use one now. My older one, I don't have set up, but I know you can use dual PCs to do what I do, so I could stream off one and do whatever on the other one. I don't know if I want to quite do that, but I mean, but it's a full, kitted out gaming computer. Oh yeah, and and a lot of it's just a flex too. Like the new graphics cards that are out, you can do 90% of it with the last generation graphics cards, which dropped in price dramatically when the 4090s dropped. I mean, because unless you're doing uh, like crazy, like realistic simulator games and stuff, you don't need anything close to that. I have a 3070 Ti in mine, which is years old by this point. Um, and I can play any game on the market without a hiccup and stream it and not have a single hiccup with it. Yeah, a lot of people, they just get way too crazy. Like, they have to play their games in 100% 4K. I'm like, your eye can barely even pick up 4K resolution. Right. Like, yes, visually it is stunning, but your eyes cannot pick most of it up anyway. So anything past 1080, it's kind of a waste of time. It's like all your professional gamers, they even in their tournaments, they only play in 1080p because that's all you need. The rest of it's just a flex, just to say you have it. Oh yeah. Yeah, well, because all they see is the computer that Ninja plays. Well, they don't realize Ninja makes more per second than that kid's ever gonna make in his lifetime. It's like we looked it up one day, Jeff Bezos makes $150,000 a minute. I mean, like, let that soak in. He's gonna make more in the next hour than most of us and our families combined in the next 10 years. But there doesn't right. Like, there's wealth and then that's just dumb. Like, if that's the case, I'm living in a different house every week. I'm throwing most of it away because it's one of those things, you either use it or you lose it. Uh, oh, absolutely. It's like there's a lady here that lives in Miami that she's part owner of that Royal Purple oil, and she's got to spend so much money a month. Like, she'll buy people brand new houses and brand new cars just because she has to spend the money. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, like, I would do unquestionable things. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm about to call Jeff Bezos and be like, what's your price, dog?" Oh yeah. Which I'm not as frugal, but I also have four children. So I'd have to be smart by buying Bitcoin with it. Oh yeah. Well, actually, the luxury cigar reviewer, John, is actually a crypto genius. Yes, he is very smart with crypto. Very. And then who else does it? I think Panda dabbles in it. PC dabbles in it. I think they've talked about. I don't know enough about it to even. I'd throw up even putting $100 into something because I don't want to lose $100. Yeah, that'd be. I just. Mm-mm. I mean, I'd really have to set through like hours and hours of like top people in its seminars or something to even get enough confidence to even want to try it. And even then, I wouldn't want to. I'm like, here's $50. Oh yeah, there's no way. Yeah, I can't even. I can't gamble. Oh, I know. Mhm. Yep, I can't do it. Makes me sick to my stomach. I mean, I think the most I've ever won at a casino was $40. And at that point, I'm like, I'm cashing out and I'm leaving. And that was the first time I ever went to Downstream ages ago. And I'm like, I'm done. And then I was a security guard at Buffalo Run for a little while, years and years ago. And there was this lady in the high rollers room, and her husband's all pissed off. He's screaming and yelling, "Let's leave, let's leave, let's leave." So surveillance tells us, make the husband leave, even though the husband was 100% right. She's literally just spin on, I mean, in the highest machines in the place, spinning like 50, $100 at a time, losing her ass. And we had to make him leave because she spends so much money that we have to kick him out so he doesn't disturb her at that machine. I just want to go and be like, lady, leave. Just leave. Go on, get out of here. I mean, if I had that much expendable cash, I could buy I'd buy a bunch of dope shit that I've wanted, not go to the casino. Oh, yeah. If I could just go drop 10K in a night, shit. I'd have me my own cigar lounge, which that is the plan, is to make a lounge here in Miami. Because actually, I still haven't. Oh, hey, Ellie. She's probably in the other room. Her job was selling a van, like a bus. And she called me one day and asked me if I'd be interested in it. And all it needs is a battery. I need to ask her if she ever figured out what they wanted for it. Because I mean, I'd have to get a chauffeur license, I'd have to get a tobacco license, and if I wanted to serve alcohol, which I really don't, because I don't want to be liable for nothing like that. Um, and you just drive. I mean, especially living right here close to all these casinos. Drive people to casinos. They buy, they get some stogie. I mean, it'll be good, especially when the college here. Which I say that, but now they moved the. Most people still ain't in at NEO at 21, unless they just go later. But the casinos would be the driving factor here. But you'd make so much money just even if you just have a brick and mortar cigar lounge with everybody going to the casinos, you're gonna make money. Ye- Yep. Because see, we don't have a lounge here in Miami. And we have a couple humidors you can go to, which one's at the Glass Emporium, which is a vape shop that you could buy. Well, it's not much of a vape shop. It's where you buy all your accessories to smoke marijuana. But they have a humidor in there, which I hate going in there because everybody you see, like, why is he going in there? Like, I'm just buying cigars, people. And then you have a liquor store, but the only cigars he sells is basically the cigars he likes. And right, and they're all somewhat overpriced, which some of them I do like that he sells in there, but there's no variety. So I was thinking, how hard would it actually be to start? Buy a couple nice, leather chairs, a big old nice TV, offer all the pay-per-view fights and Super Bowls and all that shit in there. People's gonna come. Because it's just, like I said, there's just nothing around here. You got to drive to Joplin or you have to drive to Tulsa, which I do like the cigar box in Tulsa. Well, they have a nice one on, I believe it's the west side of town, and then they have another cigar box that it's a nice place still, but it's just on the sketchy side of Tulsa, which, I mean, really, all of Tulsa is sketchy. I mean, almost every year it's within the top 10 most dangerous places on earth. Because like we normally only go up there because that's where my daughter's eye doctor is. And I always feel so uncomfortable. Like every time we go where my wife has to go, I make her make me go too. Like I'm going with you're not going to Tulsa alone. And it's just like, why are you being so paranoid? It's like I'm not paranoid. It's Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's just like going to some parts of Kansas City. There's parts of Kansas City you don't even stop at the stop sign. And there's a reason for that. Necro just moved from Tulsa. That Necro, he's in the chat on YouTube. How'd you like Tulsa, Necro? No, there's definitely just like there's it's like here in Miami, there's a good side and a bad side. I just so happen to live on the good side. The west side of Miami is the old side of Miami, and the majority of the bad shit that happens is on the west side of Miami. And oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like Commerce. There's not a good place in Commerce anymore. It was good for work. I was a welder. I guarantee it was. Damn, if I knew you lived so close, I could have went and had a stogie with you, buddy. Oh, Necro. Ladies are crazy there. Well, hell, they're crazy anywhere, brother. But I can see that being there. But I do like going to Tulsa because that's where you start seeing the Lamborghinis and shit. I see a green one in Joplin every now and then. And oh, speaking of, was you on our live that night that I Show Speed was on it? No, he, like, hijacked it because John lives in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It Yeah, Necro, small town living is the best way. I graduated with 38 kids. The town I lived in was less than 1,000. We had 0 stoplights, we had a stop sign, had a four-way stop, one convenience store, and 1 burger joint. And then the town got condemned. Now, 1 person lives there who refuses to leave after all this time. I think the last graduating class was 2010. It may be 9, but I think it was actually 2010 was the last graduating class. So somewhere around the 2009, 2010. The no sports happened in 2006, 2005. After the yeah. Well, the bullshit about it was they said area schools were scared to come in because the roads could collapse. Well, almost 20 years later, the roads are still there and nothing's collapsed. In the next 1,000 years, those roads still are not going to collapse. Because if people, yeah, Galena, Riverton, 1,000 population, 7K for the county. See, I love that. Yeah, yeah. People don't want to talk about like Quapaw. You know, people who live in Quapaw, they still going to have that lead. I mean, anytime there was a uh, eastern or western wind, and that wind roll over them trap piles, they're still going to have the lead. People in Galena, that's like Treese, Kansas. It got condemned and bought out. It was just north of Pitcher, northeast of Pitcher. You know, why not Galena and Riverton? They're just as bad, but the government realized they don't have enough money to buy everybody out. Because like that town in Michigan that got in trouble because all the lead in the water, like that's everywhere here. Every child or grown up that obviously once was a child has been exposed to horrific levels of lead who's lived anywhere in this small 4-state area we live in. People in Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, we've all been exposed because that's why we're here, because of mining. This picture used to have 14,000 people in it in its heyday. They had theaters, swimming pools, big hotels, because there was a lot of money in that town. But over time, and I think it was like the late 70s, the mines dried up, so everybody moved away. You know, both of my grandpas were miners. They started off in, my grandpa Judd, he started off in Granby, which we actually have a street named after my last name in Granby, Missouri. Um, and that's where he started. And then once there was the mine dried up there, he came to Pitcher and mined. And he ended up actually having black lung from all the dust over so many decades of mining. Then my mom's dad, he was a miner, and he actually got covered up. He survived, but was in a full body cast and had to get put on disability at a relatively young age. I think he was probably in his 30s or 40s. Yeah, got covered up. I I am well. I'm not necessarily claustrophobic as long as I can move my arms. Once my arms are pinned down, even if I'm wrestling somebody, like I'm gonna headbutt you in the face. Yeah. Like, once my arms were pinned, all primal fears come out. I'm like, "I'm about to go the year 1400 and bite your nose off or something. Pull a Mike Tyson." Final. Yeah. It's final. Yeah, it's gross. And you would think, with the amount of people that die from doing that, they would think, "Well, maybe we should stop." Like, why do you wanna get down in a hole that literally you have to exhale just to get in? Like, I'm finding it hard to breathe just to talk about it. Like, no. First of all, my head's too big to probably get. Oh, yeah, mine too. And no. I mean, because my shoulders are goddamn, I'm 3 foot wide. So are you both taller than Dakota? Yes, I'm the tallest out of all of my siblings. My oldest brother, he's all but 5'7", maybe. But he's probably about 5'7". See, I'm just under 6 foot. Which the nutty thing about it is, I was this height in the 5th grade. Everybody's like, "Man, Judd's gonna be a giant." No, I grew really fast and stopped growing. Like, I had a full beard as a sophomore in high school, but actual, like, facial hair, I was going to junior high football games with a chin strap. And it's even in pee wee football, we had to bring my birth certificate to every football game when I was in the 6th grade because 'cause they're like, "He's not in the 6th grade." "Yeah, I am." "Oh, yeah, the dude's all drunk, has kids in the fucking stands." I mean, that's basically what it was like. They're like, "There's no way he's in the 6th grade." "Well, look here, dick. I'm only, like, fucking 12 years old. I look 16, but I'm 12." It's like my son now. He's 10 years old, but granted, his mother's side of the family, like, his grandpa was an OU lineman, played for Barry Switzer back in the day, 6'7". His uncle was 6'6". Um, well, hell, my father-in-law, the one I'm talking about, his brother was 6'9". They have a sister that's 6'3". They're all big people. To where my family, we're all just wide shoulder and barrel chested. Like, my body type is what I was meant to have. There's Yeah, all of my uncles on both sides of the family. The tallest we ever get's probably 5'10", 5'11". We all weigh 250 and above. You know, big hands, big shoulders, big thighs. We were just Yeah, we're just burly guys. And I think the tallest person actually in my out of all my cousins and everything is my cousin Jimmy, and his mom and my dad are twins. So he didn't get his height from my side. He got the height from his dad's side, and he's probably, I don't know, about 6'2", maybe 6'3", about 360 pounds. He's a big ass dude. And he's probably the biggest out of all of us. Probably standard height in my family. The average height in my family is probably 5'7", 5'8". If we had to just do an average of everybody, they're probably about 5'8". 'Cause my mom, she was only 5'4". My dad's probably about 5'8", maybe 5'9". Brother's only 5'7". And my sisters, they're both just over 5 foot. I think my little sister might be about 5'6". And it's like my wife, she's only 5'3", 5'4". Um, our youngest, she's just a little over a year and a half old, and she is just now over 20 pounds. She's tiny, to where I have an 8-year-old that weighs 120. But she's also like up to my shoulders in height, and she's 8. And my son, he's 10, and he's above my shoulders. So they're going to be taller than me, both of them. But oh yeah, well my junior and senior year at 240 pounds, I was the smallest lineman in height and weight. Like our biggest lineman was Danny Crittenden, and he was 6'5", probably 320, 325. He was actually the guy who got all state my senior year. But as far as starting lineman, I was the smallest one. But I was one of the fastest ones too, though. Like I was built like a fullback, but never got put at fullback. Like I had all the ability in the world, but I didn't have the size to go to a decent enough school to want to go play. Yep. Yet my son, he oh yeah. Because my son, he'll even get put at he plays the line, but they'd even put him at tight end in Pee Wee. Because he's tall for a 10-year-old. And I don't know where he gets it, but he's actually kind of fast. Um, I was quick, but I can give you 10, 15 good yards, but after that, you better get some oxygen ready. So, because all it was I would pull, and my buddy James was the running back, and he'd grab onto the back of my jersey, and he'd just throw me wherever I was needed, basically. But we were the same size. Our running back was 5'9", 230. He beast of a kid. And say we weren't much, yeah, size wise, we weren't too different. So I'd pull for him and he'd just launch me. And it did good for a while, but I don't know. It was weird. We had a good team, but we just couldn't get past the fucking third round playoffs. Which out of the last 20 years, they made it 12 out of 20 years to the third round every year, other than very few. I think it was like 10 years in a row because we were always district champs, but we could never go past the quarterfinals. No, you're just going to play out of spite. It's like, Yeah, fuck that. I would've Yeah, like, didn't they go to state this year, didn't they? Yeah. Yeah, he's talked about that a few times, and God. Oh, goddamn. Oh, no. Yep. See, I wish I had a might say well, I have 2 brothers, but they're all the closest brother I have in age is 8 years older than I am. So, by the time I was old enough to even be relevant, fuck, he was already out of the house long ago. And yeah, see, hell, he graduated when I was in, like, 4th grade. And yeah, exactly, because he graduated in 2000, and I graduated 2008. And he, goddamn yeah. It's like James, the guy like the running back I was talking about, he had a little brother who was a freshman when we were seniors, and I wish I coulda had something like that. See, my closest sibling is my little sister. She's, uh, she'll be 33 no, she'll be 34 this year. Yeah, because in January, I'll be 36. So that was my closest sibling, but yeah, so I was the youngest boy, but I still got babied the most. And, you know, up until my mom's passing like 7 months ago, um, I was still always what's the word I'm looking the spoiled one, which I mean, I still am for the most part, but, um, yeah, I've always been. Like I said, even well into my 30s, it's like, "Mom, Dad, you don't have to buy me Christmas anymore. I have children of my own. You don't have to." Oh, yeah. Because my parents have 17 grandkids. So we're a busy bunch. Um, and they'd buy for all the grandkids and still buy for their kids. I was like, God damn, even if you just gave each kid $25 gift cards, you're still spending damn near $1,000. Oh yeah. It's like without even having to try, you're already spending like 3 or 4 grand that Christmas. And you're just like, Jesus Christ. Because I know for just for my four, we get up pretty close. And it's I don't know, I don't like because my son, he's the typical little Fortnite kid, little squeaker, and he likes to play games and stuff. So he has like the gaming monitor and the Xbox Series X and like the Astro headsets and shit like that. But I don't know. It just makes me feel good when they have nice stuff like that. Like, does he need it? Absolutely not. I mean, because he's got the Switch and he's got every possible thing he could have for all of that stuff. But he's gonna be pissed off tomorrow morning because I'm gonna make him mow the backyard. Push mow. Like, you got to earn your keep, boy. Because I was about 9 or 10 years old when I had to mow ours. Yep. Chores never stopped. Damn it. Hello? Hello? Fuck. The fuck is Discord doing?